Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, this is your timeless reading, meaning whenever you come across this reading, there may be some guidance from your spiritual team in here for you. Don't forget to pay attention to the numerology of the reading, the date it was posted, any timestamps that stick out to you, because all of that may have some channeled guidance in here for you. This reading, the intention of this reading is to look at how you are mastering your life on the earth plane right now, okay? And what you need to support yourself confidently in doing so, okay? We're going to be using the energies of onyx and citrine, okay, for this chakra healing reading. And we're going to start with the Sacred Destiny deck. All right, we have love in the reverse, enlightenment, okay, and then we also got gateway in the reverse. Ooh, a unicorn. Sorry, I love unicorns. Okay, love in the reverse, gateway in the reverse, and enlightenment. This is so pretty. And enlightenment. Okay, so if you're coming to this reading, you are shifting dimensions. I know it sounds so weird. Okay, look. Shifting dimensions is subtler than you think that it is, okay? I know people want to feel like whoosh and you just get ripped out of an old life and dropped into a new life, but that is not how it is. It's very soft, it's very subtle, and the quieter you become and the more aware you become, the more perceptive you can be of how it happens, right? Because you're moving into 5D, the 5D family. So if you have been involved in spirituality in any capacity, even in the past year, you have probably heard online people talking about New Earth, right? And that we are ushering in the New Earth in this age of Aquarius with Pluto in Aquarius. And part of that is shifting from 3D to 5D. If you're wondering what happened to the 4D, just know that that's where you go when you dream, right? Okay? So you're on a path right now towards enlightenment, okay? What you're headed towards is the ability to step into a high level of love and a 5D lifestyle, if that makes sense, okay? You're at the gates because, you know, if this is you, okay, and you're in the 3D, even in the 2D, maybe you're in primal survival mode, okay, and this is your orb, okay, and this is 5D, right, above you, okay. Once you get up to certain levels, you really can't go back down, okay. It doesn't really work that way. It's very uncomfortable to descend back down once you ascend, okay? So the reason why when you get to gateways, when there are portals for you to move up, it feels challenging is because the dimension that you're leaving will do everything to try to keep compress you there, to keep you there, okay? And it's hard sometimes to see the beauty of the new level of consciousness you're raising to, because this is beautiful, right? It's hard to see that in the reverse position when you're trying to come up from a lower dimension, and that is what enlightenment is for. So that is what's happening right now in your earthly life, okay? And that is what we need to ground, the concept that we are becoming enlightened in the first place, okay? And then we have love in the reverse position. Such a pretty card, right? Oh, love in the reverse position, because true unconditional love exists in the 5D, okay? So there may be a perception of love from the 3D that we're still addressing before we move permanently into the 5D, okay? And then on the bottom of the deck, we have flow in the reverse position, right? So that is 5D energy, okay? Higher consciousness energy, divine feminine energy. That's the thing. The divine feminine is the, you know, the ruler of the 5D. And you're learning the flow of divine change and divine timing, okay? But if you're coming to this reading, you're used to being the wolf, right? Flow. I heard one of my favorite readers say this, and it like unlocks something for me, right? Wolf, you spell flow backwards, it's wolf, right? Flow, wolf, it's the same word. Forwards, backwards. Feminine, masculine, right? Don't you just freaking love that, right? But you're used to being the wolf. You're used to a pack mentality, okay? Not the flow of your own soul, not truth before proof, right? You're learning how to flow into it, and it's through enlightenment, so that you can come up where there's a higher level of love and that you can actually push through these gates, okay? So I'm going to leave all 4 of these cards here. And we are going to clarify each of these cards with an empathic card to see how we can best approach this. Because, and we're pulling from, right, the solar plexus, because we that's about action, that's about taking steps and how confident you feel to do so, right? So clarifying love, we have Earth, okay, 11. Okay, so this is actually pretty perfect, okay, because we're we're talking about what we're mastering in our earthly life, right? Okay. We have Earth 11 coming over the love energy, 5th dimensional love, that we're moving out of 3D love into 5th dimensional love, right? And the reason why we're getting Earth when it comes to, we're asking Spirit, how do we confidently pursue these next steps? Love is going to start to ground you in a way that it didn't ground you in the 3D. And the reason why it didn't ground you in the 3D is because 3D love is conditional. And some people think that unconditional love means obliterating boundaries or constant self-sacrifice, but that is not at all what it is. Unconditional love has to be for self. That's why I got my little tattoo, right? For self and for others. So it's about being grounded in a love that isn't loving yourself in pieces, okay? Like being picky choosy about how you choose to love yourself. Like there are things, right, in the 3D that you may not have loved about yourself, right? But there is an acceptance and then a commitment to moving forward. It's like we're grounding ourselves in the fact that we're loving ourselves beyond those fragments that we don't like, and we're becoming whole by doing so. And that is actually what is grounding us in these next steps moving forward. Okay, is unconditional love for self that will make you feel grounded, not conditions in the physical realm, not artificial expectations in a relationship. Pure unconditional love will be the root for you, because that is something that is actually more sustainable and substantial and has more longevity, okay? Because it's interdependent. It doesn't require anything from you other than you wholly loving yourself and you interacting with other people who are a reflection of that, a reflection of unconditional love, right? Okay, because in the 5D, we do it all the time. We're creating our reality all the time, right? But in the 5D, your energy is very important in the creation of your reality. And because you're going through this period of enlightenment, you're getting ready, you're almost ready to embrace that, okay? But you got to strengthen your steps forward, okay? To clarify gateway, we have pedestal, okay? This is what it is. This is the biggest takeaway. Even if you feel like what you're moving towards is, even if you hold it in high regard, you cannot separate yourself from it by pedestaling it, okay? Because that's not how manifestation works, okay? Again, 11, and then we have 48, which is a 12. So this is divine timing, okay? Enlightenment, divine union. 12 is a number of divine union. That is the energy of the fifth dimension. Like, okay, if you want to look up like fifth dimensional consciousness, you're going to see stuff like joyfulness and wholeness and universality, unconditional love, happiness, okay? Those are like higher consciousness energies. Lower consciousness energies are like worry, fear, scarcity, okay, lack. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing that is going to prevent you from fully breaking through the threshold of the gateway is if you pedestalize your next step to the point where you're creating separation energetically, because that is how the universe is responding, okay? When we are trying to manifest, we need to communicate with the universe in a way where we're not separating ourselves from the thing that we want by putting ourselves beneath it, okay? That is why unconditional love has to ground you, because that prevents you from pedestalizing the things that you want. That doesn't mean that you diminish its value. It means that you hold yourself at the same level of that value, okay? Clarifying enlightenment, we have phases. Yeah. You are just going through the divine timing of this enlightenment of the path, okay? You're doing nothing wrong. You're going through a reharmonization of the self, okay? Individuation of the self through reflection and healing. That's what's happening, okay? You're not going backwards. You're not doing nothing wrong, okay? And then lastly, to clarify flow in the reverse. Wow. Oh, what? No, because I just said to y'all. Flow the other way is wolf. That is the other half of flow. Feminine, flow, wolf, masculine. The feminine is the flow, the intuition, the guidance. The masculine is the do, the action, the purpose. Okay? You're balancing that. You're just learning to balance purpose with action steps. Okay? Having love ground you and not elements of the 3D. Okay? And for your last message, chaos in the reverse. That's what you're changing, okay? You're coming out of the chaotic energy of the 5D, okay? And into the harmonic energy, or the chaotic energy of the 3D, and into the harmonic energy of the 5D. And I hope you got something out of this reading. If you resonate with my energy, consider subscribing. Put on notifications so that you know when I post Right now, I'm posting a couple of times a week. Okay, I can only see it increasing from there. And of course, I will take spiritual breaks as needed. But thank you so much for being here, bringing your energy to the reading. And I will see you in the next one.